Hey guys, we're going to continue looking at area. And today we're going to look at the area of regular polygons. But first, we're going to talk about what a regular polygon is. So if I go to the store and I say, "Hey, I want a Dr. Pepper," and they say, "Well, what kind? Diet, cherry, vanilla, blah blah blah." Well, you're just like, "I just want a regular Dr. Pepper." So therefore, there's no changes to anything. Same thing with a polygon. A regular polygon is just going to be a polygon without any changes to it. It's not going to have any changes to the sides or any changes to the angles. So all the sides are going to be congruent and all of the angles are going to be congruent as well. So that's the whole definition of polygons. Doesn't matter if it has three sides, okay, or like a triangle, or if it has 10 sides, 12 sides, 20 sides. Regular polygon, all the sides, all the angles are going to be congruent. And so when we go to find the area of these, there's a formula, okay, that we have that we're going to look at, okay, and so it is going to be 1/2 times the apothem, or apothem is really, I used to say apothem, but it's really apothem, times the perimeter of the outside, okay, and so just kind of backtracking there. Remember, when you're finding the perimeter of a regular polygon, you can take the side length and multiply it by the number of sides that there are. So that's another easy way to find the perimeter. The apothem is going to be perpendicular to one of those sides. So if I were to draw a line from the center, so it's almost like the radius, if we had a radius of a side of a polygon. And so this is going to be 90 degrees with one of the sides. That's going to be labeled as the apothem. So basically what happens is that we can make like a little triangle right here. We found the area of that triangle. Well, let's talk about how many triangles we have. Well, we would have 1, 2, for here, we would have 3, 4, 5, and 6. So we end up having 6 triangles there. And so that's kind of sort of where where this formula comes from, is the number of triangles. And remember that the area of a triangle is 1/2 times the height, which is the apothem, times the base, which is that side length. Well, how many of those do we have? Well, we have 6 of them, so we have 6 sides all together. So that's where that formula comes from. So let's look and see how this is applied. We're going to find the area of this polygon. We're going to assume that all of these shapes that I'm going to give you, that's not like a parallelogram or a triangle or some of the things that we're going to learn and have learned, we're going to assume that they are going to be actually regular. And so we are going to find the area here. Remember that area is equal to 1/2 times the apothem times the perimeter of the outside. So the area is going to be equal to 1/2. The apothem here is going to be 13.4. Now the perimeter is not just 12, just one side is 12. Well, if you count up all the sides, there are 8 sides. So I'm going to multiply that by 8. This 12 times 8, this is the perimeter. Okay. So we'll just make sure you note that there. And then multiplying all of that out together, I get 643.2, and this is still centimeters squared. And that is the area there. Moving on to example 2 now, we're going to find the area of this polygon. So same formula, I'm going to have the area is equal to 1/2 times the apothem times the perimeter. So the area is 1/2, or you could use 0.5, and then times the apothem, that's going to be the 10.5, and then times the perimeter. Remember that the perimeter is not just 14, that's 14 how many times? Well, it's 14 6 times, and we just multiply all those together, and we would get 441, and again, centimeters squared. That's the area there. So now a little bit more challenging. We're going to have to find the length of each side. So I know the area this time as 85 centimeters squared, and so I'm going to have to solve for each side. So I know that the area is going to be equal to 1/2 times the apothem times the perimeter. So I know the apothem, but I don't know the perimeter, and I know the area is 85. So going in and plugging those in, I'm get 85 is equal to 1/2 times the apothem, which is 4, times the perimeter of the outside. So therefore, I'm going to have 85 is equal to 2p. So just multiplying out, I'm going to divide by 2 now to solve for p, and I get 42.5 is equal to the perimeter. Now, that is each side. Well, how many sides do I have? Well, I have 5 sides. So since there's 5 sides, I'm going to divide by 5. So that would tell me each side, since each side is the same length. So therefore, I divide by 5 because that's the number of sides that we have. And so the each side is going to be 8.5 centimeters. And again, I had lots of people asking about why this is centimeters and not centimeters squared. It's because this is not an area, this is just the side length. So that's just centimeters. And then the last question here, we have the area is 1785. We're trying to find the length of the apothem. So here we go. Starting off with our area formula. I think that is so good to start off with every single time, so then you can just plug in what you know. So no, the area is 1785 is equal to 1/2 or 0.5 times the apothem times the perimeter. Well, the perimeter is, remember, not just 30. It's 30 times the number of sides, which is 7 here. And so then I have 1785. What you can do is you can multiply 1/2 times 30 times 7, and you are going to get 105 times the apothem. So you can just multiply all those together, and then solving for the apothem, solving for A, I'm going to divide by 105, and I get 17 is equal to A. So that means that the apothem would be 17 here. So you may be asked to solve those. You may be asked to solve be asked to solve which expression best represents this area. Also, just finding regular area with different number of sides. So I would encourage you to write the formula every single time. One, just to know it every single time, but also just so that way you can plug in those numbers that you do know, and then therefore kind of if you're not sure about where to start. So anytime you're not sure where to start, write that formula. And so now it is your turn to practice with your skill check.